Have you ever struggled to make ends meet as you supersize and grow your business? For me, with my vision, this is like nearly impossible. So today, our idiom for supersize your business, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, is to struggle to make ends meet. Now, if I think back over my life and my career, there have been times when I have struggled. One of the worst feelings in the whole wide world is when you're sitting in your office all alone, building your business, wondering how you're going to do it all, number one, and how you're going to pay for it all, number two. Usually during times of growth, which are supposedly positive, great, good times for us in our businesses when we're supersizing and growing them, that's when we find that we're short of the funds or the resources that we need to support that growth. Sometimes sales will support that growth, but sometimes we need things like, especially in manufacturing, raw materials and goods and services and more people to produce the products and services that we're providing. So it can be a balancing act and a challenge to make those ends meet. Now, this is one of those expressions that's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they're not crystal clear on where it came from. Remember, we've only had the internet for a couple of decades, so information has been spotty with respect to some of these idioms, what they mean and where they come from. Well, they believe it came from the fabric or the clothing industry when pieces of fabric had to meet. You had to meet the fabric and then sew it together to create a garment, but they're not especially sure. They know that it showed up in English in 1662 in the history of, I can't remember. Oh, the history of the worthies of England was the name of it, by a church man, a church from the Church of England, a clergyman by the name of Thomas Fuller wrote that, the history of the worthies, and he used an expression that was to make ends meet, meaning to have enough money to support yourself, to have enough money to cover your expenses, to have enough money just to earn enough money just to live on, is to make ends meet. To struggle to make ends meet. To make ends meet means you have enough. To struggle means you're challenged to make that happen time and time again. How many of us know people still, no matter where we are in our life, that live paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck? There was a huge challenge for millions and millions of people in the last couple of years, especially during 2020 and 2021, because they have been living paycheck to paycheck, and all of a sudden their paychecks went away. People have gotten extremely creative, I guess. So what do you do when you find those times of growth, when you find those times of shortages? Number one, we've talked about this extensively in this segment to supersize our businesses. We've talked about different idioms, but you, number one, have to be willing and open to see what's really going on. Just like any other loss or struggle, people tend to get into denial. If we're in denial and we're not facing what's going on, then we're not in problem solving mode and we're not taking care of it, and we're not looking for solutions. So the first thing we want to do is be realistic about what our current situation is and know what we want our situation to be. So that creates a gap that we then go about filling in many ways, by being creative, by looking for creative solutions, by finding different problems to solve, by breaking it down into bite-sized pieces so we can solve the problems. A lot of times we overwhelm ourselves thinking that we're struggling to make ends meet because of all of these things that we need to do. And when we sit down calmly and we actually look at the big picture, we realize we have plenty of resources to cover everything that we want to do. We can easily make ends meet even during a growth and expansion period. And there's all kinds of creative ways we can go about that. And I would love if you would share in the comments below some of the ways that you have made ends meet in the past when you've been struggling, or that you know of other business owners and other people that have found ways to make ends meet. I could list off some of the ways I've done it. You know, I've gone and I've gotten financing. I've used short-term and long-term financing. I have leveraged things that I already own. I've sold businesses. I've sold parts of businesses. I've brought in partners. I've sold off different parts of the business. I've increased production in different areas and sold things that were cash cows to supplement the revenue requirements for other aspects and other parts of the business, or for other businesses on some occasion. So there's all kinds of creative ways to do it. Nowadays, there's all kinds of even more creative ways to do it with the internet. There's GoFundMe sites and all kinds of ways to generate the resources and the revenue that you need. But I want to know some of the things that you've actually done to support your business and your growth. Share in the comments below, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with our last money idiom for the month of November. Have an amazing day. Questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Bye.